Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So progress is definitely being made because today I'm exactly 1 month post operation. If you haven't seen the 2 videos yet about the Luderitz Speed challenge and what exactly happened, I'll put a link in the description for you and also up here on the screen. Thank you so much for the massive amount of positive feedback from that Luderitz Speed challenge video. It is the most watched video on my entire channel. I think after 2 weeks I was already at 20,000 views and just been receiving such massive amount of encouragement and good wishes for the healing recovery process. Today I'm going to share with you guys a little bit behind the scenes of what it's like having this kind of injury. This is actually, in this time, it is our wind season in Langebaan. So this time of year, normally I would be on the water every single day for the whole day. But luckily for me, for some reason the wind has not been that ideal so far. My dad has been reporting to me. I don't know if he's just trying to make me feel better. On the other hand, after training so hard for a whole year, it's a good change to take some complete time off and rest my body. I can feel that actually it is very beneficial in this time. The moment I'm right back onto my feet again, training and rehab will kick in full throttle for next year's Luderitz Speed Challenge. Just a quick flashback to a day before we left for Luderitz Speed Challenge this year. I actually received my entire range of new AV boards. So I'm so excited to finally have them here. In my range, I've got the 128, the 118, the 98 and then a 78 litre wave board. So another great thing to look forward to after going through all of this recovery and rehab. My dad and Charles have been really enjoying testing all my new boards. What I've heard from them is that those boards are super fast. They have just got no top end speed and they just keep on accelerating. So I'm really excited to get out there on the water again in February, March, testing the boards, and then I'll definitely give you guys a proper feedback and a good review and comparison between the AV boards and my previous Isonics. Another great thing that has finally happened is that the container ship with all our windsurf gear has finally boarded South Africa. It's got all my new Mach 4 racing sails and also my new Blade wave sails on that container ship. In fact, for now, I don't really want to see it. I just want to have Charles and my dad unpack it, put it away in the storeroom so I can just forget about it for now. There was quite a few of you who let me know that you have also torn your Achilles tendon. 1 or 2 guys actually let me know that they completely snapped off their Achilles as well in the past. They had the operation and they had a perfect recovery, so super thank you for that. The most important aspect of the recovery is to know exactly how much weight to put on the Achilles tendon at what time in the recovery process. I do not have any room for error. This Achilles must be one continuous line of perfect recovery for me to be in time and ready for Luderitz Speed Challenge 2022. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background as to how life is going through this injury and what it all entails. So just to quickly recap, after the operation I was in the cast for 2 weeks. So that was really the worst period of the whole thing, I would say. The most painful, tedious, to keep the leg elevated like all the time. It was really just a very uncomfortable, painful time. But after the 2 weeks, we removed the cast and then the swelling and the pain really went down quite a lot. I was really shocked to see what a massive scar there is. I didn't know that they actually cut that big section of skin open to be able to reattach the Achilles tendon. It has been shocking to see how quickly the muscle just disappears. I've inherited my dad's muscle in my calf and normally I have really effortless calf muscle. When the surgeon told me it's gonna completely disappear, I actually laughed. I thought, oh no, it'll be fine. They're just over dramatizing it. It's gonna be okay. But actually when I took off the cast, I was like so shocked. In 2 weeks time, there's literally nothing left. Actually, it's a bit disturbing to see how quickly your muscle goes away when you don't have any gravity to work against. That is also why it's super important to be very careful during the first phases of rehabilitation, because you don't really realize how very weak this leg becomes. And it's not only the calf muscle, it's the entire leg, it's the upper leg muscles. It just goes away so quickly. As the orthopedic surgeon explained to me, there are these tiny amounts of new cells that's starting to lay down where they've reattached it. But there's a massive amount of old cells and damaged cells that's been transported away from the wound in your body. What's left there is really a very fragile state of reconfiguration. He said it's like chewing gum. It could easily break. They say on week 2 it is the most dangerous time of the whole recovery process. So after 2 weeks, when they took off the cast, I almost celebrated because I thought now life is going to be very easy. But then the moon boot came along. The moon boot has been quite a struggle in the beginning, since I have to sleep with the moon boot. The thing about sleeping with a moon boot, you don't sleep. You turn around to the one side, it's this big brick and your foot keeps on falling over. It does not work. Luckily, my dad and Charles, having a doctor and an engineer together is always the best solution to any problem. They developed this clever thing that I can put under my foot. It's basically just a very simple piece of aluminium which is hammered a bit to form the shape of my foot, and then there's this little piece of sponge in the inside of it, so to keep it more comfortable and soft on the foot. So this thing basically is a lifesaver when you don't want to sleep with the moon boot. It's super light. It's just the only bad thing is that every night you have to strap it up and every morning you have to strap it down. One of the biggest difficulties in the first 2 weeks is that the wound is not allowed to get wet. There's no way to shower. You have to wash by the basin, which takes about an hour if you have to try so hard not to fall over, and it's just a long, tedious process. So just if you can make it through those first 2 weeks, you are sorted. Koksie, kom sissie, kom Kokie, ons gaan af, kom. The dogs have totally given up on me at this point in time. Dogs have become super unresponsive. She knows we are going nowhere. My best friend became this mug, being able to carry around my cup of tea or coffee without jumping out all the contents of the mug by the time I'm actually where I want to sit. The sock that I'm wearing is to prevent the moon boot from chafing your skin, and in the beginning when you still have got your plasters on over the wounds, the sock helps to prevent the moon boot from chafing off those waterproof plasters. My orthopedic surgeon inserted this thing in my moon boot. It really helps to lift your heel a little bit, so it makes it a bit more comfortable. There's an extra piece that goes on top here, but for me personally, when I'm at home, it's really not necessary. It just adds a little bit more weight. It's a bit more ventilated and it doesn't get that hot inside. When you press the knob, there's actually like air pockets that sits underneath the moon boot here, all along your foot, and they pump up with air, and it helps to support your foot inside of the moon boot. My foot is quite small, and to fill up that bit of space in the moon boot, so it's very nice and compact and supported, especially when I want to do some exercises or when I want to walk on the crutches outside. Being on crutches and on a moon boot, life happens very slowly. Everything you do takes like triple the amount of time it would normally take. It has been quite a technique, but it's amazing how quickly your body adapts and you get to find your way, especially going up and down the stairs. I think that by Christmas time I should be done with the crutches and hopefully with the moon boot as well. The thing about crutches, whatever you do, they fall. It has been a big adaptation for the dogs because wherever I am, they've learned that there has to be a very safe radius all around me. On the bright side, going to the shopping mall during this time of year normally would be a total disaster because before Christmas everyone goes to the shops and the malls are just so crowded and you can't move. Being a disabled person, when you walk down the alleys in the mall, everyone just gives way. And then the best part is that Charles has totally taken over the kitchen. He is actually becoming dangerously good in the kitchen. So I actually think that I might retire from the cook in the house and I probably might want to stay in the moon boot as long as humanly possible. We've lately been on the Asian food addiction trend. Charles has been totally mastering the whole sushi thing, the proper Thai style stir fry, and then obviously I don't think anyone can braai as good as Charles. He is the master braaier. Life is not that bad. In the first 2 weeks, mentally, the most difficult thing is to make peace and come to terms with all of your insane amount of limitations, especially if you were really active before the injury happened. You'll see how quickly your mind adapts to your new state because time goes really quick. If you want to get advice, go to the right people, go to the people who studied to be the doctor, the physiotherapist, the biokineticist, the surgeon. Follow exactly what they say. If they say 6 weeks, it's 6 weeks. If they say do not put any weight on that foot, then you stay off of that foot. Never go down the dark mental path of thinking that now because you had an injury, that will never be the same after the operation and proper rehab protocol. Both of my shoulders are much better than what they were before the operation. So it's a lifetime investment if you do your recovery and rehabilitation correctly. The one thing that makes you sincerely appreciate your life and your ability to move and to do your sport, nothing boosts that appreciation so much as in being out with an injury. After each and every setback, when I come back after a recovery phase, I enjoy my windsurfing that much more. It really makes you focus on those small steps of improvement. You're not focusing on the big goal. It is there, but you break it up in really small little pieces. Every day and every week that you see a slight more improvement in your range of motion or in your strength, that is the things that keeps you going, and it makes you really appreciate your body's amazing ability to get back stronger than what it was before. Whatever injury you're going through, it's really beneficial if you can focus on your body parts that do work. So I always find it very important always to maintain core fitness no matter what happened to you. Naturally, if you have got a strong core, your back is also strong and your posture stays upright. There is so much that you can do when you're out of action, when one of your limbs is in a cast or in a moon boot. I'll show you guys the stuff that I do at home in a very small space that is really beneficial. You may think when you look at it, that looks so easy, you know, it's not gonna make any difference. Just that small bits that you can maintain makes a huge difference. You're encouraging blood circulation in your body, which in itself helps for the healing of your injured spot. I think by Christmas I should be done with the crutches, done with the moon boot, and then I can slowly start putting more weight onto the foot. In my coming videos, I'll take you guys through the whole rehabilitation process, the progress that I make in movement and strength, so that you guys can follow with me on the journey. Let me know if you have been through this process, and if you have any questions or if you would like to share your recovery story with me, I'll be super happy to hear about it. Remember to subscribe to my channel below to stay up to date with all my coming videos.